said it before, I'm saying it again. GDC in March is going to be on point. What's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Weekback Recap, where I run you through the latest and greatest in the video game industry. I am Deshaun at Don't Give a Bit, and thank you once again for joining me. Now, our first story up, GDC March 2019. We talked about it before with Microsoft talking about they're going to bring Xbox Live onto the other platforms. But now we have Google unveiling their Project Yeti. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Project Yeti is Google's streaming platform for their video games. Before, I got a chance to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey on Project Stream back when it was in beta, and I actually think it's still in beta, but that's besides the point. Back when it was in beta and it played beautifully. And I'm talking about on low-end and high-end computers, it played beautifully. Really, the only limiting factor was your internet. So now, at GDC, Google's talking about their entire project. So if you ask me, what does this mean for us? What's the high-low? What's the big-small? What's the big-huge picture here? Because we're not talking about the small marbles, we're talking about the big gajonas, all right? So now we're talking about Chromecast possibly being able to stream games, Google browsers being able to stream, there's a lot of things here. Now, obviously, in the short term, that's not going to mean too much, right? We're not there. Internet connection's not there. We don't have global Wi-Fi. There's so many limiting factors. But just talking about long runs, Google getting into the gaming industry is going to be a big deal. Maybe not right now, but definitely in the future. Being able to hop onto your Chromecast, connect to your TV, streaming games, hopping into Chrome on your browser, streaming games, opening up a Chromebook, streaming games. Maybe in the future, being able to stream AAA games on your phone, that's pretty cool. So it's a long ways away for right now, and I understand that. I'm not trying to jump the gun too early, but I am excited for it. So GDC is going to be on point. I'm telling you, GDC is going to be on point this year. That's going to be something that we need to look out for, all right? Now, next is Anthem. And honestly, if you don't know what Anthem is by now, get out, go home, do something else. You're messing up, all right? So, I'll help you out a little bit. Anthem is BioWare's newest, latest, hottest, debatable, AAA games as service. What does that mean? A whole bunch of buzzwords, just throw them out there, it doesn't really matter. However, the game is dropping 22nd. We kind of talked about it last week. It's dropped for Origin Access members in certain ways. If you follow the chart, did backflips, did a whole bunch of crazy stuff to get into the game. You can already be playing it. But the biggest concern with it was disconnects and long load times, both of which BioWare has announced that they will be fixing in their day one patch. That's good stuff. That's what we needed, all right? Well, I guess that's what y'all needed. That's what somebody needed. I'm not playing it personally. Doesn't matter. That was the main concern. BioWare's coming in there, trying to fix it, trying to get ahead of the problems before they drop. So far, there's been a little bit of controversy with the game. Some people are claiming it's really good. Some people are claiming it's really buggy. Some people are claiming that it's just mediocre. There's a lot to it. It's way too early right now to kind of give a final judgment on it. It is a games of service. These games tend to evolve over a long period of time. And the same game that we are playing this year will not be the same game we play next year. Just look at other games of services that have had a similar trend. Rainbow Six Siege is probably the biggest one. Rainbow Six Siege dropped, and it wasn't the hottest thing out there, but over time, turned out to be very well, and now it's one of the most played first-person shooters out there. So we'll just have to wait, see, reserve judgment on Anthem. And now moving on to the next thing. All right, when's the last time you were playing PUBG and you thought this could use a little more Resident Evil? Or when's the last time you played Resident Evil and thought that this could use a little bit more PUBG, right? So for all 5 of you, your dreams have finally come true. PUBG, Resident Evil 2, coming together on mobile. Now I know what you're thinking, PUBG on mobile, baby ass, baby games, don't even worry about it. PUBG on mobile is actually pretty solid. Now this new Resident Evil crossover, it's going to be something a little different than what we're used to. Now they're talking about doing PvE and PvP mixed into one 30-minute game that takes place over a 3-day period where you're going to be surviving during the day, looting like normal. You're still going to have that battle royale aspect, but during the night phase, you're going to have active zombies that are going to be chasing you down. There are going to be lickers, there's going to be Mr. X, there's going to be the police zombies, there's going to be a couple new guns that are also introduced into the game. I think it's interesting, I think it's fun, I think it's a good idea, I think it's a cool idea. One, to bring more players back into that PUBG universe. as well as give Resident Evil fans just another avenue to play with. That's cool. The only downside to me is that they're not doing the same to the PC version of PUBG or the console versions. I really do think that PUBG Corp needs to kind of get themselves situated, get one cohesive unit, because honestly, the mobile PUBG is arguably a lot better than the PC and console versions, and that's not really okay. So moving on to the next thing, Dreams, the PlayStation exclusive video game creation tool. That's actually pretty interesting. I don't want to downplay this at all. It's actually a really interesting game, really unique game, and I like what they're doing with it. It's just a little weird, a little out there. Well, it's getting an early access in spring. Now, this means that you're able to hop in the game for $30 instead of the entire retail price, and the only thing that it doesn't include is the campaign. The campaign will be releasing at a later date. Now, the reason why we should actually care about Dreams is Dreams has a huge, and I mean massive, library of tools and assets that you can just insert into the game and start playing with. If you haven't seen or if you're not familiar with it at all, I highly suggest you look at some of the YouTube videos out there. Things that people are creating, it's really crazy. They have an entire remake of PT that's no longer available by Hideo Kojima. Fantastic game, rest in peace. We'll see you with Death Stranding. And people are loving it. Media Molecule's done a great job with the game. It is a game, all right? Don't get it twisted. I know that I said tool earlier, but it is a full-fledged video game. So we'll have to wait, check it out, keep our eyes on it, be excited for it. I can't wait to play it. I will be trying to create a huge video game. I will be trying to create my own narrative when I get to play the game, but more than likely it'll turn out trash. And finally, we kind of get some insight onto how Gamepass is operating on Xbox. A couple months ago, Phil Spencer came out, said Gamepass is great, doing some fantastic stuff for the system, for the entire ecosystem for Microsoft, and that was good, that was great and all. But now we have more reports that Crackdown was actually the #1 played primary game on Game Pass, as well as it just goes into the entire report on to how many people are flocking to Game Pass and actually playing a lot of the games that would be considered mediocre or average, which is kind of cool. If Crackdown, which was received with very mediocre reviews, performed this well on Game Pass, it kind of gives you an idea of what other games will be allowed to exist or not be canceled because they could have a second life on Game Pass. No longer are we going to get excited about a game and then be cut down mid-development, scale-bound. So this should be interesting. I'm excited, looking forward to it. I'm all for Game Pass, and then if a Game Pass does come to other platforms, woo! All right. Well, once again, as always, I want to thank everybody for watching this week's episode of Weekback Recap. And please feel free to comment down below, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, everything else. I'm there, I'll be there, and we'll be back another week to talk about some more video games. Have a good one. Take care. Deshaun.